Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's easy for us to stand here as Members of Parliament and say we want more, we want it faster, we want it bigger, we want more money, because that's what we do. And no doubt we'll draw a line under the Integrated Rail Plan and we'll come back next week and say we want more, this next train line and this next plan. We'd probably be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't do that. It's important. But that doesn't mean that this isn't an excellent plan and an excellent investment in our region. The Integrated Rail Plan commits £12.8 billion of investment to the East Midlands. That is probably more than we've had since, I would imagine, the M1 was built, if that even amounted to that amount of money.
On that point, would it give way?
I will give way.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way. And this amount of investment, I think it's about 12.8 billion. It's a massive package. So, as the leader of the County Council in Nottinghamshire, is it true to say that he is now responsible for one of the biggest packages in the Midlands?
I thank my honourable friend for the intervention, and Nottinghamshire's package is indeed huge, and we are very proud of it. It's absolutely right to say Nottinghamshire is one of the most...
One second gone. Lee Anderson.
Speaker, now then, another Opposition Day debate and another chance for the Labour Party to demonstrate that to my constituents in Ashfield and Eastwood how out of touch they are. Yeah. Most residents in Ashfield, including a lady called Sue Hay, were absolutely delighted, and they breathed a sigh of relief when the Integrated Rail Plan was published a few weeks ago with the news in that the eastern leg of HS2 had been scrapped. The eastern leg of HS2 would have come through the edge of my constituency. It was a case of you can see it, but you can't use it. But what they can already see in my constituency is the Robin Hood line and the proposed Maid Marian line, which I've lobbied for since being elected to this place. And the new Maid Marian line will see rail passenger services returned to the rural parts of Ashfield for the first time in nearly 50 years. And it will see a new train station at Kingsmill Hospital and at Selston. And this, Mr Deputy Speaker, is what we call real levelling up in the North and in the Midlands. And I was fortunate enough to be quoted by the Prime Minister in the IRP when I pointed out that many of my constituents are more interested in good local transport links than the eastern leg of HS2. What we now have is a first-class regional package of £12 billion. And the good news is we have a new batch of Conservative MPs that will make sure that this investment is delivered in Nottinghamshire and the East Midlands. And let's remember...
Thank my honourable friend for giving way. I think he's underestimated the size of his package because, in fact, the amount for the East Midlands comes to a total of £12.8 billion, and indeed his package is much larger than even he thought it was.
Thank my honourable friend for his intervention. I'm not going to get into an argument over regional packages in this debate. That's another conversation. But let's remember, until a few years ago, red wall seats like Ashfield had several things in common. They had below average deprivation, they had failing town centres, lower life expectancy, poor transport links, lower aspirations. But the main thing that they all had in common in places like Ashfield and Mansfield and Bolsover is that they all had Labour MPs and Labour-run councils. What a shocking track record. And the party opposite, for the chuntering, you should be actually ashamed of the legacy that you've left us new Conservative MPs in places like Ashfield. And as usual, I mean, the member opposite may want to concentrate on giving back the £165,000 he stole from the miners in his own patch. You're an absolute disgrace.
Caught out.
But what does this world-class plan mean for the people of Nottinghamshire? It means a high-speed train line from the West Midlands to the East Midlands, meaning direct high-speed rail services to Nottingham, Derby, Chesterfield and Sheffield. Journey times from London to Nottingham will be cut by a third, just 57 minutes. Journey times from Sheffield to London will be cut by a quarter, just 1 hour 27 minutes. Journey time from Nottingham to Birmingham, two-thirds, just 26 minutes. Even Labour in the North are backing this plan. The leader of Rotherham Council, he said it's a victory for common sense. It's a pity that that lot's got no common sense. There we go, Mr Speaker. This is all good news. The Mayor of Doncaster welcomes the plan, and even the next Labour Party leader, the Mayor of Manchester, he welcomes the plan as well. And it would appear, Mr Speaker, that the Parliamentary Labour Party are clearly out of touch with their friends in the Midlands, in the North, who back this IRP. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, it's a good chop that these Conservative MPs are sat here today speaking out for the Labour voters of yesterday.
Toby Perkins.